Hey, everybody, this is Mary,
And this is Julie.
and you are listening to the High Priestess Hype Club.
Oh, hey, we're back for part two
Hey!
of Dreamwork. Hey.
Hey! So, in this episode, we're going to talk about interpretation. So, how do you determine what's going on in your dreams, right? Because some of them are doozies. You know,
Girl.
we talked about one of the shows. I think I started a show, our spiritual hygiene show, about
Mm-hmm.
that dream I had with the cockroaches crawling all over me.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So,
Intense.
ooh, a lot of cleansing after that. Yeah. But
Yeah.
a lot of interpretation, guys. There's a little bit of an art to it, not so much of a science. So don't worry about, well, am I interpreting this wrong? It's you have to kind of figure it out.
Yeah.
And the fun and the frustrating part about it too.
Yeah.
So for me, if you didn't hear that show, first of all, you should go back and listen to it. But of course,
Not a prerequisite, but we
no,
would think you'll get some benefit from it.
exactly. But it was because I hadn't put any protections around myself and the cockroaches. Like I can't stand cockroaches. So I was imagining all this like not so good energy crawling all over me.
Yeah.
That's how it manifested in my dream as cockroaches. So I had to do some spiritual cleansing after that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that is some of what dream interpretation is what exactly those things mean to you in your life.
Yeah. I
So,
mean, books can be helpful, right?
mhm,
People have kind of like written like this means this, like you were saying earlier, like houses mean whatever. And
right,
that, like, yes, there's a compiled book of possible meanings for all of that, but sometimes that's not what it is. Sometimes you
right.
have a different, like, understanding of what symbols mean for you, and don't, like, discount them just because you got a book that says, "Well, birds mean this, not this," to you.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But birds could mean to you something from your grandfather.
Right.
See, so that's the thing. This is the same thing I say for tarot. If you're learning tarot, the book is interesting to get some
Mhm.
information, but long term, it's what you connect with and what you intuit from that and the meaning for you.
Yeah.
So, I may see a hospital and see, oh gosh, like that means to me someone's sick. But like for Julie, she may know a bunch of people that work in a hospital, like as nurses and,
Right.
families, right? So that can mean different things. That's why the book interpretation can be interesting, may be helpful, but it's more about what those symbols mean to you. So that's a really important piece of dream interpretation. That's why you get jammed up with the book sometimes.
Yeah. They can be helpful to start get you thinking about things.
Right, right.
Yeah. Or if
Yeah.
you're like, "Geez, I don't know what the heck that was."
Mhm.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
And especially if you
Go ahead.
asked, because if you went in asking for a dream and
Mm,
you're looking at it that way, that's one thing. If you didn't really set an intention, you're like, whoa, I had some
mhm.
bonkers ass dreams last night. What the hell was that about? Doesn't always mean it was necessarily something poignant, right? Like,
Right.
did I watch a crazy movie?
Mhm.
Did I like have a rough day at work? Did
Right.
are there other ways it could leak through? Because our minds are always kind of reconciling what happened with our day while we sleep
Right.
and integrating that in. Any
Mhm.
lessons we've learned, and sometimes that can come up in dreams.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So those are all great points. So yeah, these are all things, this is the part of the art of interpretation.
Mhm.
So, and we were gonna
Mhm.
talk about reoccurring dreams, Jules. I know that
Oh,
was
yeah.
yeah. So I have a lot of reoccurring dreams about being in my car and driving or
Mhm.
chasing after my car or loaning my car to somebody. And if you know me, guys, I love my cars. Love them. I don't know
I love
why.
my
I
car too.
I do. I love my car. And the last car I had was the one of the reasons why I picked it was because the color listed on the registration or the form was blue flame, and I'm a big St. Michael fan, so I was like,
Oh, yeah.
and it was there's a lot of other things I liked about it too, but so, just take that for what
Mhm.
it's worth. But cars to me are if someone, if I've handed my keys over to somebody, I'm like giving someone something of value. Who am I handing my
Oof.
keys to? Like, what is going on? Where are they? How are they treating it?
Yes.
If I've given them something
Yes.
of value. So, the car may be what I'm actually thinking about, but it could also mean something that's really important to me.
Yeah.
So, what's happening that I'm handing that over to somebody? Or, if I'm driving down a one-way street the wrong way,
Yeah.
wrong
Maybe there's something in there.
direction.
Right.
Right.
This is interesting too, because I have a lot of dreams about my car because I too value a car, but I
Mhm.
think it's for a different reason, right?
Yeah.
A lot of it to me, my car is like safety and freedom
Mhm.
at the same time. I usually like to drive wherever we're going. I
Mhm.
like to have my car with me. I have a lot of like anxiety around being left somewhere.
Mhm.
So I like if I got my car, I'm okay. A
Right.
lot of the dreams I have around my car, I will have them, and it's to the point where I'm like, I know this is going to happen, that I'm going to lose my car in the parking lot.
Mhm.
I'm not going to be able to find it. And
Right.
so then I can look at like, well, what part of my life do I feel like I'm losing something, or,
Mhm.
feel like I can't travel or leave or whatever that is that's going on, right?
Right.
So while the car is the same symbol in the
Mhm.
dream, we have different meanings behind it, right?
Right.
The other one I have, you said yours is like either like chasing it or who am I giving it to?
Yeah.
My other one is that like the brakes don't work,
Yeah. Yep.
you know? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, and that foot is jammed all the
It's
way
jammed
in there,
down.
right?
Mhm.
It's kind
Mhm.
of like the opposite of the like you're trying to run, but you can't run in your
Right.
dream kind of
Right.
situation.
Yep.
But
Yep.
yeah, but so symbols can mean different things to different people, but they
Mhm.
can get really personal. You know what that
Right.
is for you. You know why this keeps coming up.
Right. And I think
Yeah.
off air, guys, usually Julie and I brainstorm what we're going to talk about. So one of the other things we were mentioning was about people in dreams. So,
Oh, yeah.
symbols from the perspective of, well, what does that symbol mean to me? This can also be, what does that person mean to you? Or Jules, you had a great explanation for it.
Oh, I read somewhere, and like I said, I don't know if it was Jungian or where it came from, so don't like quote me, but I know it was somebody smarter than me, and said who had done a lot of research, said that you need to look at like if the person in the dream is acting like themselves or
Mhm.
not. Sometimes if they're acting like themselves, it is about that person, right?
Mhm.
It might be about your relationship with them or how, something that may have occurred with them.
Yeah.
When they're not acting like themselves, it can be a piece of you that's being shown to yourself.
Mhm.
Like, it can be like, what is the aspect of that person that you kind of associate with? Kind of like
Right.
shadow work, right? Like sometimes
Mhm.
with people too, we either admire or don't like something that we see in ourselves and other people,
Right.
right?
Right.
Depending on how we judge that about ourselves.
Mhm.
So that can
Yeah.
be reflected by who shows up in your dreams as well.
That's true. Yeah. And I've had dreams where someone's in my dream that I don't like, but they're acting like a different way. And I'm like, wait a minute, why are you
Right.
acting like, why are you acting a certain way? And then I have to realize, like, again, it's not about the person, it's about the aspect of what's
Right.
happening there. Yeah. And I may not be acknowledging it because I don't like the person that's connected to it. See what I mean? So there's you have
Yeah.
to kind of think about it and sit with it a little bit, guys. And what you might interpret at the beginning, a couple days may pass and you'd be like, oh, wait, I know what that is. And that's okay because your subconscious is still working with it.
Right.
So,
And sometimes it takes a long time. We'll be
mhm.
for real. We'll just be vulnerable here. Will we
Yes, it's
have to
okay.
cut this? Because I'm like, I can't believe I talked about this. Hopefully not. We'll be fine. But I had for a long time, one of my ex-boyfriends, we didn't even really date a long, long time, but from early college, it would show up a lot and but it wasn't actually about them, right? It's
Mhm.
like me working out like what are expectations of who I am in relationships or how I
Mhm.
handle
Mhm.
something, or do I stand up for myself in certain like relationship arenas.
Yeah.
And so it was interesting to watch over time how when that person would show up in a dream, how I reacted to them,
Mhm.
how I like felt around them, and what kind of activities changed in there.
Yeah.
So if you have somebody that shows up a lot, again, it totally started out. It was like just I had a problem with them.
Right.
And that's
Right.
where the stream started. It
Mhm.
was real like, I don't like you.
No.
And, I usually end up kind of friends with my exes, so
Mhm.
it's a
Mhm.
really different kind of relationship than I have. So to watch it change as in the dream world, I really think is more about me and how I
Mhm.
process relationship with people as opposed to a relationship how
Mhm.
I haven't spoken to them ever again. So,
Right.
but
But mhm.
it can also change over time. So it's
Right.
something to pay attention to. If somebody's been showing up for you for a long time,
Mhm.
what does that actually represent?
Right. So
Yeah.
if you're having something like that, like if you're having a dream where someone's showing up for you, a lot of reoccurring dream, you can always put out the suggestion of like, why does this dream keep happening?
Ooh.
Why is this person showing up? Why is it changing? Like, what's going on? And see if you can get something out of that part, like
Yeah,
for your
that's a good
next dream.
idea.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you're giving your mind the option of opening up kind of the ideas that it's having. Why is this dream coming up? You're saying, well, tell me more, mind. And the mind's like, oh, okay, let me fill that in.
Yeah.
So it'll give you more information as you work with it. That's why it's important to set that intention. I know it might sound weird, but it's almost like mindful dreaming,
No,
you
I was
know?
gonna say it's very similar in some ways. Like, I think what you're saying is really important because I think a lot of us just dream and it happens to us, right? Like,
Right.
I'm here and it happened, and now what am I gonna do about this?
Right.
But I think the more intentional you are with it, it's almost like doing like a guided meditation, or how like hypnosis can work when you go in with like, now you're the hypnotist. I don't know for sure, but
No, but
in my experiential
mhm,
work, right?
yeah,
Experiential therapies and modalities. I think going into it with the intention, you can go into dream with a similar thing, and it's kind of working out the same kind of pathways in
right.
your mind, except in a different way.
Mhm.
Am I just making that up?
No,
Does
it's
that make
perfect.
sense?
It's the same place.
I'm
So you're
checking
going,
with the expert.
yes,
Like,
yes. You're going into your subconscious mind a different way.
yeah,
So it's a different, if you find one time you can't like relax enough for hypnosis, but you can knock out to sleep, then maybe it's the work has to come in the sleep time for a while and you
yeah,
take a little break for hypnosis or vice versa. But it does do, it goes to the similar place and works with similar things in the brain. So yeah, absolutely.
yeah,
I think it's just important to make sure that if you say I just want to have a pleasant dream, that's okay too. Think about how you come out of that dream. How did you feel? Because
yeah.
sometimes when you have really good dreams, you're like, I woke up and I'm happy,
Right.
you know? So think
Yeah.
about that too. If you wake up and even if you don't remember the dream, remember how you came out of it, like how you woke up in the morning. Did I wake up
Oh, yeah.
happy, refreshed? Did I wake up, a little
Like
sad?
pensive or
And
right.
right. Yeah. So that can tell you some things too. Or the other thing I've done
Yeah.
is I've said before I've gone to bed, want to remember my dreams.
Yeah.
And if I don't remember them, help me remember them throughout the day if there's a symbol or a sign or something like that that I need to see.
Ooh.
Yeah. And if you forget that before you go to bed, just do it when you get up in the morning.
Yeah, because 'cause
Yeah.
you're telling yourself to help bring it forth and it'll show
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And don't get frustrated again if you make these intentions and then you wake up and you're like, I don't remember anything. It's okay because you're still working with that brain.
Yeah.
So, and here's the other thing I've found sometimes where I've been like, oh, okay, I think this symbol is this in the dream.
Mhm.
So I think this is the message. If I
Mhm.
get it wrong within a week or so, I'll have another dream correcting what I got wrong.
Ooh.
Yeah. It's like, no, this
That's
is the symbol
interesting
again.
too.
Yeah. This is, but and
But
now
look at
here's it
how
a
it is
different way.
here.
Right.
Mhm.
So just let your mind do that work for you.
I
Yeah.
love that.
And here's the thing, if you're asleep, again, with the conscious mind turned down, you're not really rejecting what's coming into your subconscious. Your subconscious is wide open. So that's why you want to try to keep it with something to focus on that's positive.
Yeah, like your judgment's not activated, like
Right.
all of that. Mhm.
Mhm. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So it's wide open. It's like, oh, give me the suggestions, give me whatever it is. And so the other thing I'll mention is if you're like trying to write something to remember or to take with you, don't write it negatively. So in other
Yeah.
words, you want to say, I want abundance and happiness in my life, not remove sadness and pressure. It, I know it's still, but it's different.
Well, it's kinda like that thing, that comes up in different therapeutic
Mm,
modalities, right? Where when you're setting intentions, like, you always set a positive intention, like, not a negative one,
right,
because it was explained to me once, like, "Don't think about a yellow Jeep." Well, all you're thinking about is a yellow Jeep,
right,
right? Like,
right,
that's what it brings up.
right,
So, instead of having to bring that up and then dismiss it,
hmm
like,
right. Just don't even conjure it
instead of,
up at
like,
all.
saying, "I wanna get rid of
Rid
this,"
of.
it's like right, it's like, "I wanna bring in abundance." Like,
Hmm.
"Well, I'm scared about I'm not gonna be able to pay my bills, I need more
Right.
money." Like, you
Hmm.
put the positive side of that.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I want to bring in more money, not I don't want to lose my
house
whatever
or
house.
whatever. Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, that's a
So
scary one. Apparently, that's why that came.
yeah, yeah. I'm with you. But that's what I mean. So it's the positive.
Yeah.
I'll have more than enough to pay my mortgage and all of my responsibilities, commitments,
Yeah.
things like that. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a great way to work with your mind, guys, even at night. You can give it's repairing and it's doing its work, but also you're giving it some cool things to focus on out of the whole thing. Yeah. Do we have anything else to talk about?
I I don't know. I think that we get messaging from people sometimes, like we mentioned before, sometimes you get
Mm.
visits and you might want to take a minute to discern what that is. Also, just randomly, I remembered that like I used to, when I was pregnant, I would have dreams that my
Oh,
baby
yeah.
was there, that like
Yeah.
they were there and talking to me and telling me things.
Mhm.
And so that was interesting, but I
Mhm.
was too tired to think maybe I should write this down. So if you're gonna have a baby or something and that kinda happens, like, see what's
Mhm.
happening, see what messages you're getting from that. Is it
Yeah.
anxiety dream because, like, "Fuck, I'm nervous about being in the hospital or home birth or whatever's gonna happen," or
Mhm.
is it just, like, maybe they're visiting you a little bit?
Yeah. And that's a great way. I didn't even think to say that. Sometimes people wake up and someone they know is like standing around their bed, like
Mm,
that's so it is, you're still sort of in dream time a bit if you realize, when you first wake
right,
up,
like,
someone's there. Right. So you haven't come quite into your conscious mind at that point, but nothing to be scared of. You can just ask them what they're doing there.
you're like, "Hey, what's up, bro?"
Hey, what's up? Can I help you with something? What do you
Like
need? Yeah. So super easy to do. Super
Do
easy.
you
So
find that with people you know, or is that also sometimes just like medium stuff? I'm just curious now. This is not always on topic. I'm just like, do people just show up because you're a medium and you wake up and it's like, dude, I hadn't even had coffee yet.
that has happened in the past. Yes. Yes. Which is kind of funny. I'm like, what happens? Like, who are you for? So, and I know a friend of mine who's a medium lived near a highway. So she used to have a lot of people crossing through her bedroom off the highway, accidents and
Wow.
walking off the highway. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she had to say to them, like, listen, if you're going to come here, you're going right out the door out to the other part of the world. So if she happened to see
Yeah.
someone walking around, it was usually somebody from the
Spiritual
highway.
hygiene.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, but yeah. And sometimes it's a relative.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes it's relative,
Interesting.
yeah, that I'm like, "Hey, what's up? What do you need?
Yeah.
What are we looking for?"
But
"No,
it's an
it's"
easier time to kind of talk to you. So that makes
Right.
sense because you're in that like middle space.
Well, exactly, and I was gonna say that when people show up in the dreams, a lot of times because your conscious mind is quiet,
Mhm.
they have an easier time of getting to you. That's why, like, a lot of times I have people say to me, "Well, I don't see signs during the day, but they come to my dreams." Well, yeah, because you're a little more open then.
Yeah. Hey,
So
girl, hey, you're not on your phone and I can show you something
right.
or whatever. Or
Right.
whatever.
Right. Right. Or you've like ignored the signs. And now they're like, all right, we're gonna talk in your
Never
dream now.
done that.
Oh, no, I've never done that at all. Nah. So work with them, guys. I think it'll be interesting to
Yeah,
hear if what you're doing, if you use any of our techniques and see what you can get, gleam out of your dreams. We'd love to hear about it. Yeah.
absolutely. Yes, you
So
should email us at
mhm.
highpriestesshypeclub@gmail.com with
Mhm.
all your insights. You can DM us
Yeah.
on our Instagram or Facebook or TikTok. Let us know what's
Yeah.
happening. Can do all of
Yes.
that.
All kinds of things, yes. And we're coming into spooky season, guys, so we have some other great shows coming up. We have some different options of different, services that are coming, so just watch this space. We have more to tell you.
Yes,
So, like, subscribe, share, tell all your friends about us, and, we appreciate you so much. And
absolutely.
remember you are magic. Thanks, guys. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook at High Priestess Hype Club and subscribe to us on whatever platform you're currently listening to us on now because we're back every Thursday to hype you up. Email us at highpriestesshypeclub@gmail.com and tell us what you think. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.